Oh shit, another one of these days. Poor Evo. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I feel like I just spit good old braces for you. We are headed to cylinder head shop right now. We're gonna drop off our head. I don't know if they're gonna actually resurface it. I know they're gonna check it to see if it was warped at all. I'm sure they're gonna service it just to make sure we don't have any head gasket issues or sealing issues at all on the Evo 8. Yesterday we tore that thing apart. Now today, hopefully it goes back together and back on the road. Even though we have like 10 feet of snow right now, I probably won't drive it, but I don't know, I guess we'll see. Sheesh, almost looped her out. Oh shit, it's slick. Alright, I'm gonna get this thing dropped off. This is the 8 head and get her decked. Alright, well, we got a couple hours before the head is done. Clean and mill. So I'm gonna go work out and then come back and get it.
Beautiful. Thank you, man. There you are. You have a good one. You as well.
Beautiful new head. They said it was a little bit warped. They had to take a total of about 4 thousandths off, which is not a lot, but you know, it's getting up there. But we're all good to go now. I'm gonna go to the parts store. We need to grab new coolant, spark plugs. I think that's about it. And a cup of coffee to get this shit done. All right, boys, let's go ahead and get this thing back together. It's gonna be a long process. Definitely takes a little bit longer, I would say, to get it together versus taking it apart. But one thing I'm gonna do to help out with how fast it goes together is install the intake manifold while the head is still off. So I'm gonna bolt the intake manifold to the head. We can get the assembly on the car. It's gonna go much easier, much quicker, just because trying to get to the back bottom of the head to get the intake manifold bolts off is a pain in the butt. So yeah, that is what we're gonna do. Look at how beautiful this gasket surface is though. So mint. First thing we need to do is pull out the ARP 2000s out of our block and get that gasket surface cleaned up. It's all full of oil, all full of coolant. It's gotta be 100% spotless when this thing goes back together. Head is sitting where she needs to be. Now we got to go ahead, open up our head studs. They're all individually wrapped. I heard you're not supposed to touch them at all with bare hands. I don't know if that's a rumor or if that's true, but we got to get these guys installed. And of course, we will be utilizing the ARP lube. I do not even know the torque spec. I went on the ARP site. I can't even find the torque spec on their site, so I got to do some research. So the quickest and easiest way that I found is to go ahead, pull the stud out. We kind of assemble the nut and washer on the stud before we install it. clearly a different material than the ARP 2000s. A little bit of lube. Now we have the stud assembled with the washer and nut. I'm just gonna drop this guy right down in the head. Head is installed with the studs, nuts, and washers. We are gonna thread the studs into the block, just hand tight. As soon as they stop, we're done there. And then we have to torque down the nuts. They go 40 foot-pounds, 60 foot-pounds, and then a final torque spec on the L19 is 95 foot-pounds. Well, I believe the ARP 2000 is a 80 foot-pound final torque spec. So let's go ahead and get those knocked out. And then we have like 20 minutes of reassembly, maybe a little bit more, and this thing is done. Putting the intake manifold on first was definitely the right move. Fully torqued down, ready to go. Next up is the GSC zero tick lifters. I'm actually excited for these. I'm curious to see how they sound. I've never ran them before. I do believe they need to be bled beforehand. Yes, zero tick lifters must be bled down before installation. So let's go ahead and get these guys bled, installed into the head, and we can move on to the cams and rockers. So to bleed these things, ideally we would have like a little eyedropper to drop oil down into this hole right here, but I don't have one, so I'm just gonna try to pour it down in there. We're gonna put oil in it until it comes out the side hole, and then we're gonna take something about a 1/2 mil thick, maybe like an Allen wrench. We insert the Allen wrench down in there, and that's gonna depress the ball and spring, and then we bleed. We just push up and down on the lifter, and that is gonna push out any air from inside the lifter. Now I am conflicted. Let me explain why. Every time I've ever bled a set of lifters, and I'm not an expert on this topic, but it's what I've always done, is when you bleed them, you want to be able to compress the lifter like this, right? But on the GSC bleeding procedure, it shows to bleed them until they're 100% solid. So they're completely stiff, which I feel like I've read horror stories about people installing lifters that are 100% solid, and when you go to fire it up for the first time, you end up bending a valve. So I'm not really sure what to do. I may just follow the GSC instructions, but if the lifter cannot compress, I don't know. I don't know what to do here, because it's saying to do the opposite thing that I've always done, which is odd. So I made up my mind, I'm gonna install them the way I've always done it in the past, with them squishy, not hard. I feel like if you install them hard to where they don't compress at all, it's gonna hold open a valve or two, or maybe multiple. And of course that would not be ideal. I'm just installing them how I always have. So with that being said, all of them are installed. Let's go ahead and get the rockers back on, and then we can get the cams in, and yeah, move on from there. Okay, pretty much the reverse of what we did yesterday now. So cam caps are all torqued down. 15 foot-pounds, I believe, is what it was. Let's get this guy up in the air, get the timing components all back together. Valve cover's got to go back on. Intake manifold's already on, so that's going to save a lot of time. Turbo kit, intercooler piping, fluids, radiator, and fire it up. See what happens. We've made some real good progress. All we have left is swap out the plugs. For the new plugs, we do got to gap the new plugs to about 018. Get the coil pack on, turbo kit, downpipe, intercooler piping, radiator, and some fluids. I'm kind of nervous, not gonna lie, for this first start after going against the manufacturer's recommendations of the lifters, but it felt wrong. Hopefully I was right. I guess we'll see. Well, this thing is all ready to go for the first start, minus plugs and the coil pack. And the reason I left that off for now is because I want to go through and clean up the bay. There's so much oil everywhere that I don't want to fire it up and get all the oil burnt into everything that it's sitting on. And every time I wash the bay out of this car, I do got to pull the coil pack out, get all the water out of the spark plug tubes or the spark plug holes. So let's go through, clean the top side of the bay, get it up in the air, clean the bottom side, get the new plugs in properly gapped, get the coils on, and go ahead and hit the first start. Well, I think we're all good to go. I'm still concerned with the lifters, but I just did what I've always done. So it does feel weird going against the manufacturer's recommendations. So I guess we'll see what happens. Oil level's good. New plugs, cannot talk still. Can't say S, new plugs. Coolant level is good to go. Let's fire this thing up and see what happens. We did drain the rail and the injectors, so there's obviously no fuel in the injectors. Oh, and my gas light's on. Oh. Oh. Sounds kind of weird. Why does it sound like that? Come on, give me some fuel. There we go. Why am I laughing? I don't know. Did it leak oil? I'm laughing because these freaking lifters are so damn quiet. It's a little bit suspect. I didn't see any oil leak out. No fuel leak. Okay, let's fire it up again. I shut it off, by the way. It didn't die on its own. I know this wasn't a full motor build. Like, there was nothing really all that important that we messed with to where we would break something catastrophically unless we got timing off, but still that same feeling of like major anxiety, you know what I'm saying? If you've done a full motor build before, you know what I'm talking about. This thing's so freaking loud, guys. It does sound funny at idle. It sounds like it has a mess at idle. I'm gonna let it warm up all the way though, because it's running fine. It revs fine. Oil pressure is good. AFRs seem normal. Huh. Yeah, I'm just gonna let it warm up all the way. Get to operating temp and see how she is looking. But yeah, I think we're good to go. Hope you guys can hear me. Car's been running for about 15-20 minutes now. It's up to operating temperature. It's not overheating at all. Everything's good to go there. Oil pressure is good. Yeah, there's no misfire. It's just a very, very low-P car. Sheesh! I freaking love this car. It's so perfect. I can approve. I can dig it. All right, that's enough runtime for the night. It's like maybe 2 or 1 degree outside. I'm in shorts and a t-shirt and I have the shop door open. Too damn cold. Hell yeah, boys. We're back in action. I wanna go rip this car, but we have like literally 8 inches of snow, and this isn't the perfect car to go beat the shit out of in the snow. I might take it out once, just for fun, just to see how she does. I promised myself I would never drive this car in the rain or the snow, but I might have to take it out at least once in the snow. Just for fun, you know? Give her a little rip, see how she does. Plus we gotta see if our head gasket is fixed. I'm gonna run through, tidy everything up. We got a few last little pieces to install. I'm not gonna worry about the bumper, because if I do take this thing out tomorrow, I'm gonna have to leave the bumper off because it's about that far off the ground. So let's get that short tower bar back on. I guess that's really about it. Get that wheel on. Hell yeah, I'm excited. Well, I guess that is a wrap for today. I went and fired up the car again. She started, here, I'll just show you guys. She starts up perfectly. She's good to go. No issues, no hiccups, no nothing. We back, baby. We're freaking back. Ah, feels good. Cool, I guess there's nothing else to do today. Sad, I wanna go drive this car so bad right now, but there's no way I'm taking it out in this very inclement weather. It's a little rough. We should be good. Being that I know the head was warped, I think it was cylinder 4 as well. I'm guessing that's where coolant was entering the combustion chamber and then burning off. So we should be good to go. Quick little easy fix for the 8. This thing's 100% ready to rip. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out, my friends. I'll see you guys tomorrow.